The world of sports is full of entertaining stories and enigmatic individuals. Every now and then, we find things about sportsmen that aren't very good, to put it lightly. Golf isn't any different, although fans would say that golf's a gentleman's game. They don't play defense and fight each other on the field of play. But we disagree. Even golf has some skeletons in the closet, and one of them is Phil Mickelson. So let's dive into why golfers hate playing against Phil Mickelson. Phil Mickelson is probably the best left-handed player to ever play golf, and has won 45 events, which includes 2 PGA championships, an Open championship, and 3 Masters titles. One look at the statistics and you could probably guess that he isn't someone easy to beat, and that can contribute to why fellow golfers don't like playing against him. We take a deeper look at all the different reasons why Mickelson isn't considered exactly everyone's cup of tea. First, he was too good. While we've got some statistics to back up our claim, Phil Mickelson also passes the eye test. He's an incredible golfer who has racked up so many events and titles and continues to dominate the world of golf. Success, however, comes at a cost, and the cost is competition. That's only natural, and when you are so good at what you do, you also expect to deal with hostility, which Mickelson does regularly. He has been around for a long time, and while he may not be at the peak of his powers, Mickelson remains a force to be reckoned with. Plus, Mickelson has always had that lazy elegance and natural talent that sets him apart from anyone else. If he had worked as hard as Tiger Woods did, and put in the same amount of hours and effort on the field of play, truth is, he would have been regarded as the greatest player of all time. Lazy elegance is superb to see. You have the case studies of Lionel Messi and Roger Federer, 2 supreme GOATs of their sport who have been personally blessed by the hand of God. It wouldn't be wrong to put Mickelson in the same bracket, but he's closer to James Hunt than he's to Messi's or Federer's. The difference is that Hunt only had a point to prove himself, and did so by winning the 1976 World Championship. He gave up, despite having so much talent and ability, and retired a couple years later. On the other hand, Messi and Federer had the natural, God-gifted talent to go with the hard work they put in every single day and have enjoyed eras of domination. Mickelson, like Hunt, falls just short and allows the likes of Tiger Woods to overshadow his achievements. Next, his rivalry with Tiger Woods. The biggest compliment you can pay a golfer is that they managed to be rivals with the great Tiger Woods. That remains our issue with Mickelson as well. In a parallel world, this could have been said about Mickelson instead of Woods. Either way, the rivalry with Woods didn't help Mickelson's image at all. Woods, 6 years younger than Mickelson, rose quickly through the ranks and became rivals with Mickelson despite growing up in his shadow. As golf writers and analysts noticed, Woods knew even before them that Mickelson was probably the most gifted player to hold a golf club. Despite knowing this, Woods quickly grew quite disdainful of him because he couldn't fathom having that much ability but not putting in the time to be great. This is quite similar to every other sport. If you play and challenge the legacy of fan favorites, you tend to assume the role of a villain in the sport. We've seen that repeatedly in every era of every sport. The Messi versus Ronaldo debate has a villain, depending upon who you support. Federer and Nadal are the darlings of the 21st century tennis world, and Novak Djokovic has taken on the role of the villain. Being a villain doesn't mean you're a bad player, no way. Djokovic's legacy and statistics can't be matched. The same goes for Mickelson, but the question isn't about greatness, rather than likability, and Mickelson finds himself in the same bracket as Djokovic and others. Up next is longevity. Longevity is one of the best characteristics of a sportsman. If you are consistently good over a long period, you are definitely in the conversation of being the best in your sport. Again, allow us to explain with examples as we dive into the world of tennis once again. Pete Sampras's record of winning the highest number of Grand Slams was considered unbeatable until, of course, Roger Federer entered the frame, and while he went past the record in 2009, he was still winning Grand Slams until his late 30s in 2018. He did the unthinkable, and then others followed suit. Phil Mickelson is hardly any different to Federer in this regard. It will remain one of the most impressive achievements in the sport that Mickelson lifted his first Masters title as an amateur at the tender age of 20 in 1991, before going on to win another Masters title as a 48-year young legend in 2019. There's no doubt that Mickelson's level has decreased, and he isn't the player he was 10 years ago, or 20, or 30 years ago. But did you know that Mickelson has made at least $1 million on the PGA Tour every year since 1996? Maintaining this kind of level while facing 2 to 3 different generations of players is certainly as good as it gets. Sadly though, it also contributes to why so many different players don't like him that much, because emulating that kind of success is simply not possible, and competing against him for such a long time could be so draining. Again, allow us to take an example from tennis with the big three, Nadal, Federer, Djokovic, dominating for so long that the next gen has 2 or 3 different generations. Next, not the favorite face of golf. Golf still seeks validation to become a proper sport, and the only way you can establish it within the realms of other sports is by having top-class ambassadors. That was perhaps the reason why analysts and golf lovers never really took to Mickelson, because they wanted individuals and ambassadors like Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy to advance their sport. People around the world, especially fans, also felt the same way. Tiger Woods was simply the perfect specimen. Supremely talented, could pass for Mr. Universe, while Mickelson had an extra 20 pounds and was referred to as hefty rather than lefty by golf writers. Lazy elegance is a charm in itself, but not when the lazy is literally standing between you and greatness. Imagine, we are saying this about a person who is still regarded as one of the top 10 players of all time. If that doesn't tell you about the talent and potential possessed by Mickelson, doubt anything else will. But we also feel that the world of golf may have overlooked the importance of having villains in the sport. After all, without the role of Mickelson, there's a decent chance that Woods would have had a brilliant legacy, but not the type of legacy that can help golf become more likable and watched across the world. Although, if you ask us, there's a lot more to be done if golf truly wants more viewers worldwide. And he's controversial. The idiosyncrasy of individuals plays a huge part in determining how great they become and how much they are liked. This aspect has only increased with the rise of social media and the internet, as sportsmen and celebrities are always under the microscope and tend to slip up now and then. Phil Mickelson isn't any different, but he tends to invite trouble rather than having poor damage control. Having a good PR team can take you a long way, and usually that's the case with individual sports personalities. However, golfers are usually the cream of the crop, and they can handle most situations without any sort of prep, but not always, and Mickelson's one of those figures who has struggled with this throughout his career, most infamously for his recent comments on the Super Golf League, which is being funded by Saudi Arabia's public investment fund. He called the Saudis scary mother and added, they execute people over there for being gay. Knowing all of this, why would I even consider it? Because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to reshape how the PGA Tour operates. That's rough. As expected, he got a ton of backlash for it, and he has decided to take a break from golf and will be missing the US Masters for the first time in 28 years. Oddly enough, that wasn't the only time Mickelson was the center of controversy. You might remember the time he hit a moving ball, and while he initially claimed he was taking advantage of the rules, he did later admit that it was one of his chief regrets. Mickelson said he had other chief regrets too, and that includes the disses on Ryder Cup captains Sutton and Watson. He has also been involved in an insider trading scandal, and his involvement was confirmed when he paid the money back plus profits. So, he isn't exactly a saint, but then again, your favorite sportsman probably isn't one either. And that's a wrap for this video. Do you have any questions about Phil Mickelson's glittering career? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this, and we'll see you in the next one.